What is up to all the good people all across America and all the good people all across the world? I just got done watching a clip about this husband and wife couple that are police officers out of Louisville, Kentucky, somewhere. They mentioned Louisville, and they were on a date night in a fast food restaurant, which I was like, yo, that's cool. That's cool. You know what I mean? I don't know. To a certain extent. I mean, that's cool that you guys are having date night at a fast food, eating shit food in a fast food restaurant. Like you guys are that humble. But yeah, don't stick that poison in your system, dude. Fast food is poison. Anyway, so healthy, you know what I mean? That's your woman, homeboy. You got to feed her healthy food, you know what I mean? And the same thing, that's your man. But anyway, they stopped an armed robbery, and I've been there before. Twice. Actually, about four times, but actually, I consider it twice because only two times that I actually have to involve a gun in the matter out in actually, you know what it was? It was my 7-Eleven. The two times that I'm thinking of were the 7-Eleven that I went to at 67th Avenue and Olive. What's up to everybody at that 7-Eleven at 67th Avenue and Olive and Grandel in Glendale, Arizona. But yeah, that was my 7-Eleven. And yeah, the two times there was armed robberies, and I was like, nah. I know these people. These people are like, I've been coming here so long, they're like family. And I didn't have to kill anyone, and I let them go both times because they didn't hurt anybody. You know what I mean? And I let them go. And then the other couple times were like beer runs and dumb stuff, and like I just stopped it just because it was my store. You know what I mean? It wasn't because anyway. So as a human being that battled drug addiction, and that's a lot of that. A lot of what we're seeing is drug addiction, alcoholism, drugs, you know what I mean? Drugs. Most people that aren't using drugs, I'm not going to say there's not. I mean, the real bad guys, you know what I mean? The ones that are, they don't do drugs and they rob everything and they don't, you know what I mean? Vicious. I never been vicious. I never been, you know what I mean? Like, but anyway, my point is we can't have it both ways. You know what I mean? Drugs are going to be there. You ain't going to stop drugs. And I realize this. I'm talking about this and giving my insight as a person that was a heroin addict. You mean as a person that never wanted to hurt anybody, but was forced to do, you know what I mean, what I had to do to survive. And the thing is, because when I wouldn't have drugs in my system, yeah, I would end up, hurting, maiming human beings, not for no reason, but because they were blind, too blind to see how damaged and destroyed, not permanently damaged, but damaged. I was a very damaged human being, and I didn't want to hurt anybody. So I'd rather, it is what it is. I'd rather had anesthetized myself to protect the people of this world from the anger and the rage that I had inside of me because of everything that was done to me, than to have just hurt more and more innocent people. Not innocent. Nobody was innocent. I never hurt an innocent person in my life. Well, I made mistakes, but never consciously ever made the decision to hurt an innocent person. And when I say I made mistakes, it's not like I robbed somebody or something. It was more of emotional things that like didn't take enough cues to. Anyway, shut up. Shut up. But my point is, as a drug addict, I always thought, listen, like I don't want to hurt anybody. I just want my drugs so I don't have to feel the pain of life that I was put through. And if I had the decision, if we could build a big city with a huge wall around it, and you just throw all the drug addicts in, like a prison, but not a prison, not with a bunch of screws that are beating the shit out of you or fighting you like animals that are trying to control you. You know what I mean? Just let them be, but put them in this, isolate them from society so it doesn't bleed into our society. And if I had the option to have all the heroin that I wanted to do, and that would have been it. If I could have just had heroin, just to, you know what I mean, work so I could kill my emotions and work on myself. Now this is at that time period. You know what I mean? Like I said, I did a DMT trip, spiritual thing. It took 5 years. Now, if I would have known that when I was younger, everything happens for a reason. But if I could have done that DMT trip when I was younger, if I could have had the knowledge I had now when I was younger, I wouldn't be 47 with no wife and kids. The only thing I ever wanted out of life was a good woman and 2 kids. 2 kids, 2 beautiful kids, and raise them. You know what I mean? Hopefully one, boy and one girl. You know what I mean? But I'll take whatever I can get. But anyway, or I would have taken whatever I could get. But yeah, that was all I ever wanted. And because of how damaged I was, I wouldn't allow myself to have that. But yeah, I always thought, dude, if I had the choice to go into like this city, this drug city where I could just have that and, you know what I mean, be left alone, I would gladly go. Isolate myself from everybody just to ensure that I don't bleed my dysfunction into society. And I'm just being honest. I mean, the 2 options that we have, if we want to clean up this world, and one of them, I do not. We do not want to go down that path. We do not want to go down that path because I can see it from a mile away. It ain't no Jewish Holocaust this time. There's going to be a Holocaust against fentanyl addicts, criminals, and drug addicts. That's what they're engineering, dude. This is all engineered. You know what I mean? Like I could see it from a mile away. But anyway, yeah. 2 options. We can either build a prison and put them in there. You know what I mean? The drug addicts and, all of it. And help them, you know what I mean? Provide help for them, let them use drugs for, until because that's how it is. It's like with some people, they're in so much pain, they have to find the way themselves. But then when they want help, have a secondary city that they can go to. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about a luxurious city where they have everything. No, you're getting drugs, homeboy, and that's about it. You're going to get 3 meals a day. They ain't going to even be great meals. They're going to be, healthy. We're not going to feed you poison, but that's about it. You know what I mean? You can get some reading material. You're going to get your drugs. You know what I mean? And you're going to get, if you want to change, when you're ready, yeah, I will give you everything I got and show you what helped me change and save my life. But that's all you're getting. That's it. And that's all. I would never want any more than that. You know what I mean? A place to eat, shit, sleep. You know what I mean? And then my drugs. If that's what I needed to do at that time period is what I'm saying. The second option is, like I said, just we go to war and we just murder everybody. And we know good is going to win out over evil. I mean, I'm just being honest. That's the way it works. There's more good people in this world than there is evil people. There's always going to be. But that's what we're up against here in America. You know what I mean? In a lot of places. And it's like, I'm just telling you, you know what I mean? How I see things as a person that was a heroin addict. That I didn't end up on heroin. I put myself on heroin. And I don't care if people believe that or not. That is a fact. Hand to God. Hand to God. I made the conscious decision. I said, I need this right now. When I felt it, I was just telling someone yesterday, I went to lunch with them. I told them, this is hand to God. My girlfriend at the time that talked me into trying heroin, trying to save my life. Thank God she did, because she's right. If I wouldn't have gotten on heroin, I would be dead today. I would be dead, or I'd be doing life in a cage. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I was so hardwired to just that street life and that gangster shit. Like the worst in my world, the worst thing that you could be up until 22. My thoughts, every fiber of my being, the worst thing that you could be was a junkie or a fall down drunk that didn't take care of your family. Mob. I came up under La Cosa Nostra. That's the morals and codes that I learned from old school honorable La Cosa Nostra men. That's what I was fed. That's what my father fed me. And then, portions of the honorable portions of police officers. This is what I was taught. You know what I mean? To be a protector, to be, all that stuff. And, yeah, man, like I was so hardwired that it took the 3rd time of doing heroin. Now, my girlfriend at the time, she was loaded, dude. It wasn't that it wasn't real. I was so hardwired to against it that for the first 2 times, and I did more than she did, and I couldn't even feel it. I didn't feel anything because that's how hardwired I was with PTSD and how powerful my internal makeup was to fight against stuff like that. But the 3rd time I did it, I said, and I felt it. It was 90 days later, and she talked me into trying. Please, can we try it one more time? We had this big fight. I told you not to ever ask me to get that again. I don't like that shit. Don't ever ask me. Please, come on, just one more time. I give you my word. I will never. She said, I'll give you my word. I will never. That's something this woman never said, because she didn't have a word, man. Her word. I mean, I love that girl, but that girl lied through her teeth to me. You know what I mean? I don't think she ever. Well, no. She always broke up with me when she slept with other dudes. And I always did the same with other women. You know what I mean? I just told her. I said, you've already betrayed me. So, if I want to be with another woman, I'm going to be with another woman. If you ain't cool with that, bounce, basically. You know what I mean? Bounce. But she didn't. You know what I mean? So, yeah, she betrayed me. Utterly betrayed me. But that's life. She's human. You know what I mean? I don't hold a grudge against her. And truthfully, like, damn, she was a good woman. I wish I was a stronger man because she would have made the best wife if I could have led her correctly. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm going to go off on a tangent. So yeah, the third time that I tried it and I felt it, I said it out loud. I said, damn, I'm fucked. I said, this is exactly where I need to be. You know what I mean? This is exactly where I need to be. And I made the conscious decision right there. Not that I wasn't addicted. You know what I mean? I wasn't addicted. I tried it. It was the first time I felt it. I hadn't done it in 90 days. You don't get addicted to heroin the first time. It's not like that. Like, I still thought the worst thing you could be is a junkie. 2 weeks into that, I'd asked my homeboy Big Perm for a $200 loan because I was, anyway, in transition with money. You know what I mean? I was used to moving, 10 to 15 pounds, about 10 pounds. At that point in my life, right there at that time period, about 10 pounds of marijuana a week I was moving. And anyway, so I'd asked him for a $200 loan because I was waiting for a shitload of cash to come in. And at that moment, I needed $200. And he looked at me, he said, what? I don't loan you $200. You're messing with heroin, dude. Like, what are you, stupid? And like, he took it like I wouldn't pay him back, but I would have paid him back. Like, there's no, you know what I mean? I wasn't asking for free money. I'd never ask another human being. But I'm so glad he said that because when he left, I remember I was in my mother's backyard. He had met me at my mother's house and I was looking up to the sky, to God, basically. And I told God, I made a promise. I said, God, I'm not going to allow this drug to change me. Like, whoa, like, yo, Big Perm was right. And I don't care. You know what I mean? I'm going to be more powerful than this drug. And I'm not going to allow it to compromise my morals, character, and integrity. And I never did. Now, when I started shooting cocaine for that year period that I shot cocaine, that was a whole different story. But the combination, and it was really just the cocaine, of shooting cocaine was so powerful. Belushi's, dude, that's how people died. I mean, that was so addicting. That 20 minutes when I was coming down and I was shooting, man, I'm talking about grams at a time, seizures for 30 minutes straight, heartbeat over 300 beats a minute, 30-minute long seizures, saline solution being pumped into my jugular vein, to thin out the coke because I was about to crash and die, waking up in a Baptist hospital at hallucinations where I saw my grandmother showing me, like, if you die, this is what it's going to do to your mother. And I saw my mother destitute in the streets, homeless, alcoholic, because of my death had destroyed her so badly. That's what I saw. And the next day I went to my mom's house and I said, Mom, please. I didn't live with her. I was homeless in the streets. I said, Mom, please, I'm not asking you for money for drugs. I said, I need $200 for a bus ticket back to New York. I need to get out of here because I did not want to die and have my mom. I was like, in my head, I was like, I'm going to New York and I'm just going to disappear into the streets. And if I die, she's never going to know. Like, I'll walk myself into the Atlantic Ocean and just disappear before I ever put my mom through that. And, yeah, I hopped on the Greyhound bus. She gave me $200 and $200 spending cash, which I went and bought a shitload of balloons. I had a pocket full of heroin because I needed to get myself from Arizona to New York. And my plan was to go into like a detox in New York. And I'd shared before, every pivotal point, either skateboarding or a woman, dude. Like, and believe me, I pushed every woman away that ever wanted me in my entire life, pretty much. I've always tried to push them away because I knew I was so damaged that I would just hurt them. Not intentionally, but just, I would just tell them, like, nah, you don't want, like, try to push them away. And I thank God. I thank God for every woman that pushed back and was like, nah, I'm going to have you. Like, I seriously mean that because every single one of you helped save my life to get me to this point. But, yeah, dude, Samantha hopped on the bus in in Tucson. I couldn't stand this girl, dude. I could not stand her. She was this gorgeous little punk rocker girl that was like a pistol starter, bro. Just had a mouth and she was on the bus. This is how I met this girl. She hops on the Greyhound bus, and there's a heavy set. She sits right behind me, and there was a heavy set woman in the seat next to her. And she says, listen, ma'am, I'm just letting you know I'm addicted to heroin, and within 6 hours from now, I'm going to be getting sick, and I'm going to turn into a whiny little bitch. So feel free, if I start whining and crying, just smack the fucking shit out of me. That's what she tells this woman. And she was honest. Like, I'm honest now. You know what I mean? That's what she told this woman. And within 6 hours, she's whining and crying. And I got a pocket full of heroin. And now we're outside of Dallas, Texas. From Phoenix, Arizona. She got on in Tucson. We're getting close to Dallas, Texas. In between El Paso and Dallas. And finally, I was like, I can't take this fucking whining anymore. Like, I didn't give a fuck. Like, you know what I mean? She was a junkie, dude. Like, listen, dummy, if you're going to hop on a bus, you should have had the common sense to bring some heroin with you so you don't get dope sick. And finally, I put a balloon, I think 1 or 2 balloons in my hand. And I turned around and I said, stick out your fucking hand. And she sticks out her hand. And at first she's hesitant. She's like, whoa, I think I scared her. And I'm like, stick out your hand. She sticks out her hand. And I put 2 balloons in her hand. And I said, now go in the bathroom and get well and shut the fuck up. This is how we met, hand to God. She came out of that, she's like, dude, she's looking and she's just like, oh my God. Fucking, she goes in the bathroom. And that was a wrap, dude. And this black dude, me, her, and this black dude were in Dallas. And homeboy, because he had witnessed the whole thing, and he was cool as fuck. He goes, yo. Well, I went by the nickname Nada at that time. So when they give me the nickname Nada, Nada, and he goes, Nada. He goes, guess what? He said, because homegirl, she went to go use the bathroom. He said, he goes, Nada. He goes, I think that girl's fucking the shit out of you tonight. That's what he told me. And I was like, yo, I didn't want her. I was like, hell no, I don't want that broad. I seen her. She was, just latching on to me. And that's exactly what happened, man. I ended up dragging. But anyway, excuse my language. You know what I mean? But like, no, I didn't sleep with that girl for 2 months after that. Because we had to build a relationship. And as fucked up as our relationship was, it was beautiful. Because it was like we accepted each other for what we were. Yeah, but yo, she put me through some shit. We were living in Newburgh, and she was beautiful, bro. She had, the booty that every man wants. Shaped like a heart, and just muscular and like built like a dancer. You know what I mean? Like that short junk. You know what I mean? Just you know what I'm talking about. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Apple bottom jeans. You know what I mean? So but anyway, so I said, listen, this is Newburgh. It's full of killers, and there's, when I say this, I'm talking about the extreme minority. I'm not putting this on the people. I'm talking about, from the hood, you know what I'm talking about. It exists there. It exists everywhere, but it's more prevalent because they know they can get away with their crimes. But there's serial killers, there's predators, there's, pimps, and there's people that'll kidnap you and, and break you down and make you, put you on the streets. And I said, Samantha, I said, I understand you're a pretty woman, but you can't be dressed and wearing halter tops and Daisy Dukes in the hood. You will get your ass raped. And I said, you have to give me your word. I'm not going to be with you all the time. So you cannot dress like that in the hood. I promise you, please take me with you. Please take me with you. I get a job for the state of New York. And we went to go score some weed in the state truck. And I was like, yo, let's go by my apartment. We're driving up Liberty Street. And who do I see? I see little Samantha, my girlfriend, my woman, walking from right by South and Liberty, wearing Daisy Dukes and a halter top. And I was like, what the fuck? Because she thought she was so brolic and so badass that ain't nobody could hurt her. She thought she was invincible. She wasn't out there hoeing or nothing like that or trying to cheat on me. She thought she was invincible. She was like, fuck that. Ain't nobody fucking with me. She was about that business. Believe me. She would hit you. She had to. She would do things that she had to do to survive. And I get it. She was a little lion, bro. She was a little lion. You know what I mean? But, nah. You know what I mean? There's other bigger, badder lions. Nah, hyenas, bro. Packs of hyenas. People with hyena, not lions. Lions don't do that kind of shit. Hyenas, bro. Big old hyenas. That will, you know what I mean? Cowards. Yeah, that'll just deprave. But anyway, enough of my rambling. But yeah, dude, a prison. You know what I mean? Like, that's just my opinion. You know what I mean? And my opinion means absolutely nothing because I am absolutely nothing. Who am I? Nobody. I'm just one person sharing my opinion. You know what I mean? That's it. I just want to see people recover, people get better, people get out of pain. And I want to see, like, dude, I'm going to end it with this. The day I went skateboarding after burying my best friend at Papavero's, down in Maspeth, Queens, I went to Times Square and I skateboarded from basically set from the Sheraton where I used to be homeless down to the Freedom Tower. And on the way back, I hopped the subway and then I walked over by the Port Authority area. And I'm sitting there watching this couple. And actually, let me tell you how it really happened. So I link up with this homeless couple. Now, I haven't done heroin or fentanyl at all. But when you come off of fentanyl, it hurts your dopamine and your endorphin so badly during this time period that I was in. I'm 100% sober now. But during this time period that I was in, that I was smoking a little bit of crack. Not a lot. I just buy like a 20 just to get the feel-good chemicals. I had done it once. I had gotten myself 6 months clean. And I had used this formula based off of science. And when you do cocaine or crack, it forces your opiate receptors and the neural connections where you build dopamine. It forces them to make dopamine. And during that time period, I went through it the first time when I got 6 months 100% clean off of everything. When I finally got clean, but I fucking hate crack, dude. I hate coke. I fucking hate it. Excuse my language. I hate that drug. I don't like it. But that's what I had to do just to get through fentanyl is no joke. It's not heroin. Anyway, so I was like, score some crack. I was like, I want to take a couple of hits. And I took a couple of hits. And then they took a couple of hits from their shit. And next to it, all of a sudden, this black girl just disappears underneath the blanket and starts blowing homeboy. And I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? I jump up and I'm just like, what the fuck? And now I'm walking away. I'm like, yo, I want nothing to do with this. This is broad daylight. People are walking by. I never seen nothing like I was homeless in New York. I never seen nothing like that. I get about 20 feet away and the blanket falls off. Now there's women and children walking by. And I had said something. I was like, whoa, what the fuck you doing, man? And they didn't even hear me. Like I didn't even exist. Homeboy looked at me like a little scared at first, but he was like, I'm getting mine. I'm just like, what? And I walk away and all of a sudden I'm watching them. And now there's a security guard and 3 police officers looking right at them. I'm looking at the cops and the blanket falls off and this black broad is blowing this dude in broad daylight in front of women and children walking by. She didn't even realize, and he didn't even realize that the blanket came off. But I'm looking at the cops, and 3 cops are sitting there laughing, dude. They thought it was a joke. And I'm just like, what? I come from a family of NYPD. 6 of them. My father. No. They were depraved in their own way. But I would like to believe my father would have stopped that. Because I know if I wasn't even, like, I should have stopped that. You know what I mean? That's the thing is, like, what if cops ain't going to do the job, then step out the way and let us do the job. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at. If you ain't going to do the job because you're so scared about losing your pension or going to prison, then step out the way and let real men, you know what I mean? Real men do the job. You understand what I'm saying? Just where I'm at. You know what I mean? Anyway. Yeah, no woman or child should have to witness somebody getting oral sex on a public sidewalk in America. No. I don't abide by that. Peace.